Hey everyone, and welcome back.
Sustainable fashion or secondhand or mending.
I have a lot of questions for that.
Back in 2016-17,
What was your early days content?
I think from the minimalist documentary was
So how was that? Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sheen Webisodes, where sustainability meets style and real stories spark real change. I'm your host, Bud, the founder of Sheen, a brand rooted in ethical elegance and conscious fashion. I'm incredibly excited to welcome our today's guest, Jenna Flood, a sustainability advocate, minimalist fashion educator, and a content creator since 2016. Welcome, Jenna, to the show.
thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here.
It's such a pleasure to have you on Zaishin Webisodes today. So, yeah, please introduce yourself to me and the other who is watching this.
Yes. So hi, my name is Jenna. I am from Melbourne, Australia now. Yeah, I've been doing content creation, talking about slow fashion since 2006 and 17. I guess I don't know. It's been so many years now that I've been in this little bubble of slow fashion and sustainability, minimalism, that sort of thing, that it kind of feels like second nature to me. And then when I step out of this bubble, I'm like, oh, people actually, do other things rather than just shop secondhand. But I like to think that, when I do a little slow fashion talk, that, it plants a little seed for somebody. And it doesn't mean they have to go, change their entire way of living, even if they just go shop a little bit secondhand, or maybe they get interested in mending. Just a little seed is what I like to plant. So yeah, I'll talk about slow fashion, minimalism, my cats, weird jokes, weird humor.
No,
Yeah, so I just like to help small businesses grow and shine a light on anything sort of sustainable fashion or secondhand or mending, renting, clothing swaps, that sort of thing. Yeah.
no, that's incredible. I mean, the thing that you just have introduced about you and the things that you do, I have a lot of questions for that. So we're gonna go over within this particular time that we have. So I was just noticing you started in 2016 and now it's 2025. It's like almost 10 years you have been in this
Mhm.
industry. So it's almost a decade of experience. So take us back. I'm gonna start with this. Take us back in 2016. So what sparked you to start making content? And when you started, it was in the beginning as a slow fashion focused, or did you transit? I'm sorry. So how was that?
So back in 2016-17, I kind of get the years a bit muddled up. I'm just going off my fashion, my posts on my Instagram for remembering things. But basically, I was sort of working in retail. I was working for COS, which is owned by H, but I've worked for Cotton On and other fast fashion brands as well. And I was sort of always interested in clothing, growing up a teenage girl, I was interested in shopping, clothing, that sort of thing. I'd done a little bit of secondhand shopping, but it wasn't really something I was passionate about or anything. I was going to the big box stores back in Tasmania, part of Australia. We only had a few stores there, so things like JJ's, Kmart, sort of low cost retailers. So they're all mostly fast fashion. But basically, watched a documentary called The Minimalist, which was those two guys, Josh and someone else. I forgot his name, and they were talking about minimalism. And I don't know, it just clicked. I don't know what it was about that, but it just clicked. And I watched the documentary again, and I was like, okay, this is starting to make more sense. Then I watched it again, in the same day. I was like, wait, this just really makes sense to me. And I just I was looking around my apartment, and I was like, I have a lot of stuff, and it never felt like it always felt like I had to keep collecting to be the cool person. Like I had to have this and I had to have this to be the cool person.
Right.
And back then also, social media was still quite new. People hadn't quite, I guess there was people out there making money from it, but it was still really new and people were finding their way around things like Instagram and Facebook and that sort of thing. There was heaps of bloggers around though. People were blogging way before social media about their lifestyle and fashion. So I always want to be one of those people. But yeah, minimalism sort of started it, and then it sort of rolled into sort of zero waste, and then having less, and having less clothing, I guess, and then veganism and vegetarianism. So just sort of rolled into that, and I was like, every time I discovered a new rabbit hole to go down, it just sort of clicked. I was like, all right, slow fashion, that makes sense. Eating cleaner or less meat, or eating carefully, that makes sense. Having less things, that makes sense.